How's it going, folks? We're here at the Poudre Creek Riparian Reserve. My name is Thomas Beal, and today I'm going to take you on a walk where we're going to explore the oak woodland. We're going to take a look at some of the key components that define and make up the Woodland Valley here in the Sacramento area. But before we get started, I want to share with you a quote that's been a personal favorite of mine. It's by Thomas Huxley, and he said, "To those unversed in natural history, their forest walk or meadow meander is like walking through an art museum with 9/10 of the paintings flipped towards the wall." So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and see if we can turn some of those paintings around for you. So come on, let's go. We've come to our first stop, and right behind me I have a Pacific madrone, one of the key species in the oak woodland environment. Here we have manzanita, one of the more common California natives found in the oak woodland. It grows at sea level all the way to about 7,000 feet. And it's one of the most fire-adaptive plants we have here in the oak woodland. When the Miwok Indians would burn this valley, they would notice that, like the coyote brush, the manzanita would be one of the first to sprout up. So what happens with the manzanita is when it gets burned, it burns all the way down to the roots, and the roots will stay there. They can handle a lot of intense heat. And when that manzanita starts to grow up again and continue to grow and take up space, it will provide a lot of nitrogen into the soil, one of the things that is lost during a fire. The manzanita has a few defining characteristics. If you take a look at its leaves, you can notice that they're oriented in a unique position. If you take a look at the manzanita's leaves, they aren't oriented horizontally, but they're oriented vertically. And that way, they can limit the amount of sun exposure they get in an open space. You made it to the last stop, and right behind me here, we got an interior live oak. Now oaks, they represent the dominant tree species here in the oak woodland. You'll see not only interior live oaks, but also valley oaks, black oaks, and sometimes coast live oaks. Oaks not only represent life, but they're a reminder of our past. A past long before our grandparents and great-grandparents and great-great-great-great-grandparents were here, but a time when the native people would gather in huge numbers around fall, exactly this time, and they would start to gather these acorns, and they would crush these, and they would get all the tannins out, and then they would bake them, mash them, and they would turn it into a food source. And it'd always be this big, grand acorn harvest that would symbolize life for the Native Americans, specifically the Miwok people who lived in this area. I want to thank you all for coming on this hike with me today, and hope that we were able to turn some of those paintings around, and that your next meadow meander or forest stroll, you'll be able to appreciate some of the life around you.
I think it's just gonna fade it out right here.
Crazy? You can't fade it out. Just fade it out.